Yo. Yeah. On the real. It's Casino. You know the deal. So, anyhow, it's your boy Casino here. Let's get into it. I know y'all been catching up on the Wu-Tang saga. The Wu-Tang sword continue, bruh. It's the ruler zigzag, zigalaw. Plus a law, zigzag, zig. Dropping more knowledge for that wig. So, right, anyway, so as y'all been watching I'm sorry, but since y'all been watching the actual Wu Tang saga and all of these things were going down, people were like, "Wow," kind of blown away by some of the things that were happening and some of the stories, like Raekwon and Ghost, how that became a situation, and it's like really dramatically played out here, but for other reasons, I mean, they really playing this out to this effect. But at this point, it's a little bit more than that. You see things played out and things are being done for certain reasons at this point, just to put the story along. But it's entertaining. I'm entertained. Are you entertained? I know damn well I am. But let's get into it even more so that people could have a vast understanding of what we're talking about. There was a scene in this episode where a certain rapper popped up while they was on tour, and you guys questioned and asked questions, and you donated to the page, and you actually hit up the link in the description box, and I appreciate it. You hit my super chat up, and you left a long message in there, and I appreciate it. And the message was so nice and powerful. You wanted to know more about this subject that happened here on this episode 8. If you didn't see episode 8 of the Wu-Tang saga, then you won't know what I'm about to talk about. But maybe you can have some context. Now, there's a scene where the RZA is on tour and they're in Houston, Texas, and his name was Prince Rakeem at the time. He thought that would be a cool name to use. So he runs into another rapper who was on the tour called Just Ice. Now, Just Ice was one of the many brothers who was representing the movement at the time. Welfare recipients. That was, I mean, he was tough, but he was definitely on the level when it came to like kicking the old school and kicking the flavor, educating. And at that time, he had an album out, a lot of them at the time. He was big, muscle bound guy from the Bronx, had the Bronx mentality with him, but he was also had knowledge of self. You know, KRS-One used to roll with the guy, and a lot of other people were there. Now, there's a scene where he runs into Rakim and explains to him about the knowledge of his name and tells him what Rakim means. Then, on the episode, the genius comes up and explains what it means and, what's today's mathematics, God. I said, what's today's mathematics? Then the genius comes in and starts spitting the spew about now, wisdom and understanding. And, then he was like, yo, he's like, this is my cousin. He good. He's like, yeah, you better get him on point. Now, I've heard this conversation many different ways. That what happened. All of them are about the same. There was a meeting like where they did meet up, but it wasn't as vital like how he was pressing him. It wasn't a pressing. He really was educating him, from as it was told to me. Now, somebody was murdered in '86, a drug dealer that Just Ice had beat the case. He was charged with it. He was proven innocent of it, and it boosted his morale as far as him being a hardcore hip hop guy, and he was tough on the streets. But that wasn't what he was about. He was about educating. So when he came out with that Cool and Deadly album, everybody's like, "Ooh, this dude's something dangerous in the game." But it was like I need to speak to the people and educate them. So when you got to the Desolate one and he's talking about all these different things with welfare recipients and all these different things, he's about hip hop. He was a hip hop artist. But he wanted to, tell people about what was going on. And at that time, what had happened in the situation what they're doing on the concert was this. RZA was arguing and was in 3 different arguments at the time. He was arguing with his management. He was mad about the sound man, about the tour. And all these things was going on all at the same time. That's true. But when they got in the back, King's son was also there. That's what was told to me, that Just Ice, King's son, and the rest of the other guys who was representing the star was there. But King's son was one of the guys who said something, and Just Ice said something with him. And then they was asking about, what was going on and educating him and giving him some knowledge. So when King's son was there and Just Ice, it wasn't as confrontational as they made it look like they were gonna beat him up or something like that. That wasn't what they was pressing. They was like, you can get in trouble out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can get in trouble not knowing who you are or what your name is. Because if people hear you say, yo, my name is Rakim, and you don't know what Rakim means, and you just out here running around with this name, you're going to be in trouble. But like I'm saying, they didn't press him. They were really just trying to hit home when they were speaking to him. So just like you would do trying to see a young head and you trying to hit him with some game. Now, when they said the RZA came over and saved him and was like, yo, God, this is what happened, blah, 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 blah. That happened, but he wasn't the only one. The first person who was there who was spitting was A Song Unique, who knew knowledge of self more than just as much as the GZA. Both of them knew more than the RZA. So both of them were there when that incident happened. So when you saw them at the same time, face to face with one another, and the old dirty bastard at the time, who wasn't the old dirty bastard, he was just A Song Unique. He was spitting that real right back to him. Knowledge and understanding and wisdom. I mean, he was off the dome with it. He was crazy with it. Knew everything, every literature, every word. So he was able to vibe with Just Ice and vibe with King's son and the GZA. And GZA came over like a little later Just like it was on the show, the RZA came over a little later, but for some reason they don't want to show that part on the show with Old Dirty Bastard. You know, they just got him pretty much as Old Dirty Bastard right now when he really was like that guy, like Ason Unique. Like he really was that guy. Like very intelligent, very sharp. You know, so that's it. You know, it's a good story, but that's how it really played out. You know, RZA wasn't standing there by himself, and you know, Just Ice just pressed him like that. He was there. King Son was there. Some other people, the brothers were there, and they were spitting some knowledge and giving him some game to his name, Rakim. When they found out his name, and they started educating him. So I just don't, you know, like I said, people doing stuff on the show for their own reasons, but that's the way I was told it went down in real life, in real time. You know, King's Son, Just Ice was there, and Old Dirty was right there with RZA, who's a song unique, and he was right off the brain with the 5%. You know, all knowledge of self. He had it all and knew everything word by word. So couldn't deal with him. Genius knew it too, so he came over there with the mathematics, and he came in late, but they was already cool because Dirty told him like, man, y'all got to school your boy, get him caught up. But it wasn't a pressing situation like they made it on the show. That's all. But still, the show is amazing, man. The show is amazing. I'm still watching it. When it's over, I'm gonna do a review on it because people keep saying, man, when you gonna review the Woo? When you gonna review the Woo? I'm gonna review it. Don't worry. We're gonna go over a lot. I just want it to kind of end so we can be all clear on that, then move forward. So, like I'm saying, any questions you got, click the link in the description box, and you can leave me a big message in there just like they did. Right where it says super chat right here, you click that button, go over there. It's in the description box. Can't miss it. Anyway, I'm out. Love, peace, and hair grease.